How are you? This is Oliver Fernandez with The Imperfect Entrepreneur. And today we're going to talk about how pricing your product and services can impact your business. So this past weekend, we changed out the stroller car seat for the standard car seat so that our daughter Liliana could sit up straight in the stroller. And she absolutely loved it. The standard car seat has this like front handlebar that she grabs on, and like she literally had the biggest smile on her face. And it reminded me of the feeling that I had when I would be at like amusement parks as a kid, like bouncing around and like just enjoying life. And she was more interactive with everything around her, including people, dogs, and just leaves, even just like the smallest thing. So it was really cool. So the new flooring business has been going crazy since the beginning of the year when we took over, January 4th, right? And over the last month, my operating partner, Clayton, has been bringing up that the business has been like even more busy, like even just crazier, you know? And with COVID, things have gotten even more complicated, you know, from like a shipping standpoint. So we had to roll out a couple new initiatives. And one of those new initiatives, right, was like in the last couple of weeks, we started to not schedule a job until we actually received the material in our warehouse. And then we would call the customer to schedule a time for us to go out to their house to install the material. And the reason we were doing that was because we were scheduling these jobs out thinking that, you know, we would be able to get our material in a day or two, which was customary prior to COVID. And then 2 weeks would go by and we wouldn't receive the material, but our customer would have adjusted their house or like, you know, made special arrangements to, for us to go in and install. And it just was creating such a big headache for us. So, we switched that around and that helped a lot. You know, it gave customers, more of like what to expect. And it allowed us to continue to navigate and continue to, you know, get good reviews. So, you know, a couple more weeks has passed by and you know, things were bonkers and they were getting better, but like there was still like a lot of like just being overall busy. And, you know, at our financial meetings that we have on a weekly basis, we were realizing that there really wasn't a big impact to the bottom line of the business. So I was like, man, we got to look into this. And we started digging more into the numbers. So I asked Brian, our finance wizard, to put together a list of all the jobs that we had completed in 2021. And on that list, I wanted to get jobs that, you know, the dollar amount for the jobs. I wanted to get like the actual customer name. And then I also wanted to understand, has the job started? And if the job hasn't started, like then I could go back and I could ask our operating partner, what was the situation with that? And then the jobs that have started, how much of that have we been paid? Right. So some jobs we've been paid everything. So it would be, you know, $10,000 for the job and then $10,000 has been paid. So that I knew in my mind that while looking at that new list that job was complete. And then the open jobs would obviously have a $10,000 order. And then there would be, how much have we been paid? We've been paid zero. So that means that we're still in, like the ordering phase or the transition phase for that project, but it has been an order that has been placed, right? So once he sent me that list, I would then have the opportunity to dig into that list. And I started looking at all the numbers and man, it was like, it's crazy. You know, we've completed over 600 jobs through, you know, May of 2021. And, you know, I think about that in comparison to my general contracting business. I mean, we have 20 jobs, right? So we've had 20 jobs over 2021 and some of those jobs are not even complete yet. Whereas this job has like 600 jobs and, you know, over half of them are already complete. So like you could see the difference in the volume, the sheer volume of these jobs, you know? And a lot of these jobs are not like the biggest jobs, you know, they're in and out in a day or two, but they still take time and they still take resources and they still take, you know, mental capacity, right? To just be able to, order the job, meet with the customer, make sure they understand what they want. Then you got to, receive the payment. Then you got to order the materials, then receive the materials, ship the materials to their house so that can get installed, coordinate with the customer, the days that would work, and then, go in and do the work and then, get paid. So there's a lot of steps. It's not just like, hey, yeah, you want this, I'm going to provide this and it's done, right? It's kind of like what Amazon does, right? You want XYZ product and they ship it right to your house. And I'm obviously simplifying that a little bit because I know Amazon has to do, a lot of back end work. Like they had to create the website. They had to allow people to post and upload their products onto their website, right? So there's a lot of back end things that are taken into consideration with Amazon. They also, one thing, their main service, like from a labor standpoint, is like providing the final product to the customer, right? So with us, right, like our final product is, the material, but then we also got the installation part of things, so there's definitely, and we're going inside someone's house. So there's definitely a little bit of coordination that needs to be done there. So after looking at the list, right, of all of our orders for 2021, we realized that we had 600 orders and 300 of those orders were under $2,000. So that means that half of our business was orders under $2,000. And then when I totaled that up, that total was like $200,000. So if we just said, hey, at PQF, we're not going to do any jobs under $2,000. All the busyness that my operating partner was talking about, like, hey, we're going crazy over here. Like things are just, things are going really good. We have good work. The customers are happy, but like we got a lot of stuff on our plate. Like immediately overnight, we could say we don't want to do any jobs under $2,000, and we would take away half of our business, but we would also have half less things to do, right? Like we would have half the jobs to order material for. We would have half the jobs to schedule and coordinate with the homeowners for, right? And the businesses for, right? So like you could see how simplified our life would have been if we just said, hey, we're not going to take any more jobs under $2,000. And a lot of businesses do that because like when all of a sudden you now have 300 more jobs, that means, what does that mean? That means you got to hire more people, right? You got to, because you can't just have jobs. You got to have the jobs, but then you also need to service the jobs, right? So you got to hire more people, which means more payroll, which means more, you need more vehicles to get the people from the workplace to the business owner's house or the business owner's office that they want the work done at, right? So there's a lot of things that go into that. And as we continue to look at the list, we were like, we need to make a change here. Because the real impact to the business wasn't a lot. I mean, it was $200,000. I mean, and then we looked at our total orders and it was like, it was, $3 million, right? So like, if we took out $200,000, we still would be in business, right? But we would have less headaches, right? So we were looking at the numbers and we're like, what can we do here? What can we do here? And we finally came upon the situation where we're like, hey, we're allocating a full-time crew to these jobs, right? So even if it's a $700 job, like we're allocating a full crew to this job, and that includes, 2 people, that includes a truck, that includes insurance, it includes all these things, and I understand it's not a big job, but like, if you really want someone to come to do the job that is going to do the job properly, for number one, and number two, it's going to have a lifetime warranty because, at the end of the day, we care about our name in the community. So like we if somebody calls us back in 2 years and there's a material defect or there's a workmanship defect, then like we go in there and we take care of that. So like that's a lifetime warranty. And now we're doing that job for $700, and the numbers just started to like not make sense. Right. So we were like, how can we add more value or do something so that we could make our limit a $2,000 limit. And therefore, like, yeah, maybe half the customers won't move forward, right? But like maybe half of them will. So like now instead of having 300 jobs, maybe we only get 150. That means like that busy thing that my operating partner was talking about wouldn't be as busy, right? Because now they're doing, instead of 300 jobs, they're now doing 150 jobs. And the jobs that we're doing 150 on, we're actually making more money on. So like it just makes more sense for the business as a whole, right? Because we still got to pay for tires on the trucks. We still got to pay for gas. We still got to, have a team, right? And like we tried this out, right? And the first customer was like, yeah, when can we schedule? And the second customer was like, the price seems a little high. What can we do? Can I do some more of the install for this work? And like, what I mean by some of the install is like, he would do all the rip up of the carpet and he would, provide some labor so that when we got there, the work was already prepped. So, my partner and I, we role played how he would respond to this. Right. And, the role play was great because it gave us both clarity on like how we need to relay this message to not only the team, but to our customers. Right. And, I love that our customers and our clients were willing to say, hey, you know what? I'll take on and try to do some of the manual labor so that you guys can reduce some of that time on your end. And then, as my partner and I were talking about it, it doesn't really simplify the job for us, right? Because we're still going to have a crew there. I mean, yeah, it might save an hour, but like it's an hour that we're already there. It's not like we had to go and come back. We're already there. So like, yeah, it could have potentially saved maybe a couple bucks, but it wasn't enough for that person to take all of their time and energy to go there and tear it up and well, at least if it wasn't, we couldn't give that person a credit for that, right? Because it didn't credit or help our business, right? So we needed to be strategic about how we responded to this person. So as we were talking to him, we asked them, we have a couple different options. We have the option that we originally gave you, and then we have another option where we can do cash and carry, which means like you can buy the materials and do the install on your own. And then he was like, hey, I've done some carpet installs on like a 12 by 12 bedroom or stuff, but like for stairs, I can't really do the stairs. And then that was like, yeah, I totally get it. I understand, that's why, that's the value that we bring, like we're going to have to, not only are we going to have to bring one of our carpet guys, we're going to have to bring one of our better carpet guys because they know how to do stairs, right? And they're going to be allocated to you to go and install that project and execute at a high level, right? So like, as we continued to walk through that with the customer, he then saw our value and therefore was then willing to pay the price, right? And the price wasn't like, oh, this is a problem now. It was more like, I just need to, in my head, I need to be okay with paying more than I expected, right? And as you increase value and you make that value apparent to your client, they can make those decisions, right? So your price points can attract or repel people, right? So like, if you have the lowest price in town, you can be attracting a bunch of people that want the lowest price in town. Or they can repel people, as we continue to raise our prices based off of our workload and our capacity, right? There's going to be some people that say no, like, hey, we can't afford this, or hey, we're going to put this project on the side for right now. And that's okay, because at the end of the day, like, our responsibility is to our clients, and it's also to our team members, right? Like, their overall health and their overall being, right? And having them running around pulling their hair out when we're not really making any money is never a good thing, right? Like, it has to be an equitable exchange for both parties, right? So it's great to have customers and clients wanting your product and service, but you also want a business that can do what it says it's going to do. So use your price points to help yourself and your business stay in control of the flow, the customers coming into your business. With love, keep putting one foot in front of the next and continue to build your legacy.
Thank you for listening to The Imperfect Entrepreneur. Please remember to subscribe and leave feedback.
Hey there, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please click subscribe down below and give me a thumbs up. You can reach out to me on Instagram or Facebook at Oliver Fernandez 3. I have new videos just like this one dropping every week. So drop a comment down below and let me know what you want to hear next. Until then, keep growing and keep learning. Just do it.